Speak on the motion of Mr Holland, motion 422. It has 7 parts and notice was given last sitting week. Acting President, Mr Holland has given me plenty of time to prepare, so I thank him for this contribution today. This motion regards the eastern stretch of the Suburban Rail Loop, a project that will change our state. And I will remind Mr Mulholland that the eastern suburbs, which I hope he knows a bit about, has sent a resounding message to Victorian Liberals by voting for it twice. I was at a pre-poll every day in the lead-up to the election, and in between all the noise in the electorate of Ashwood, I was supporting my good friend in the other place, Matt Fregon, and the SRL kept getting the thumbs up. Across the east, in the seats of the Australian Labor Party have never held before. People were resoundingly voting for it. And we will deliver, just like we'll deliver the Metro Tunnel opening next year, something that I've had the chance to tour many times. Just like the Metro Tunnel, the Suburban Rail Loop is going to improve Melbourne's public transport in a big way. That way that we'll move around and across this great city, whether it's for work, study or leisure, it will be easier and faster. 3 transport super hubs across the Suburban Rail Loop will greatly improve how Melburnians move around Melbourne and even how Victorians move around Victoria. These hubs will be set to be located at Sunshine, Broadmeadows and Clayton, and there are additional connections to the existing network at the following stations: Cheltenham, Glenwavy, Box Hill, Heidelberg, Reservoir, Fawkner and Werribee. This expansion allows for more flexible travel across the city. Gone will be the days of having to go all the way into Flinders Street station and then come back out. More direct connections will mean faster travel and less crowded trains. Overall, the Suburban Rail Loop and its hub system will do great things for the state of Victoria. Hubs that will be centres for commerce, hubs that will help Victorians travel for work, study or play. They want these stopped. Further, these super hubs mean that the Suburban Rail Loop will intersect with 3 outer metro stations that service V-Line, supporting regional Victorians. This means travelling to regional Victoria will be easier, regardless of where you live in Melbourne. It also means that regional Victoria coming into Melbourne can take a much more direct route to their metropolitan destinations, meaning faster, smoother travel. Just like the changes that we made to the inner city travel following the Suburban Rail Loop, V-Line passengers will have the option to avoid Southern Cross Station for direct travel with less congested interchange stations. We believe in supporting and improving V-Line on this side of the chamber. That is why the Suburban Rail Loop has been designed to benefit V-Line passengers as well as Metro Trains passengers. The Allan Labor government's track record on support for V-Line services and its patrons are consistent across the board. The perfect example is capping the V-Line tickets to the same price as Metropolitan tickets. And Acting President, this motion is full of politics and gestures. It's better suited to the federal parliamentary Labor than this place. Acting President, this motion is the opposition saying that they want the Allan Labor government to be like the Liberals and ignore public transport. But instead, we are delivering the most ambitious rail expansion that this state has ever seen. Along with the super hubs, the Suburban Rail Loop project will introduce 5 new stations to the loop. There are 2 stations allocated the east and the north, and 1 station in the airport rail stretch of the loop. The big winners here are students, and those are the 3 stations located near some of the largest universities in Melbourne. Particularly in my neck of the woods, Monash students will benefit, along with the Parkville station that was completed recently and a part of the Metro Tunnel Big Bill project. The Allan Labor government is ensuring that students can get to their campuses faster and easier. Acting President, SRL East Cheltenham to Box Hill has been consistently costed at $30 to $34.5 billion. The business and investment case noted that contributions to pay for the SRL would be sought from the state and federal governments from a value capture. The Liberal Party has multiple PBO references to the cost of the SRL East and North to build and operate for 50 years. This includes replacing the train fleet in 40 years' time. This is not how infrastructure is costed. This has been used for decades, including the City Loop. The Suburban Rail Loop is going to generate tens of thousands of jobs. Approximately 24,000 Victorians will be employed in positions relating to the Suburban Rail Loop build. This estimate just includes those who have been employed directly by the Victorian Government for Suburban Rail Loop related roles. 8,000 of these jobs will be in the east. Among these job opportunities, 10% or 800 of them will be available for trainees, apprentices and cadets. The SLR graduate program offers postgraduate students the opportunity to have a hands-on experience. The graduate program offers a range of roles that participants will be able to join in to grow and hone their professional skills alongside experts. With the program lasting 2 years, participants will be able to participate in a broad range of fields to develop under the tutelage of the industry professionals. The Allan Labor government has introduced the SRL graduate program to set aside 10% of jobs for trainees to ensure that we're continuing to train professionals and planning for the future of employment. The number of jobs expected to be employed in suburban rail loop areas from Cheltenham to Melbourne Airport is nearly 550,000 by 2050. These jobs will be close to train stations, making the commute easier and making the workday better. The Allan Labor government is about jobs, job creation. For every 100 jobs on the big build, another 200 are estimated to be supported through the supply chain. At the peak of the construction, about 50,000 direct and indirect jobs are supported, including more than 277 million hours worked across the big build to date. But we know that Melbourne is growing, and this is needed. It's growing faster than any other city in Australia. That's part of why the Suburban Rail Loop is so important. Yet the Liberals would like to stop that progress. Victorians know that only an Allan Labor government will deliver big projects like the big build. This includes the Suburban Rail Loop, which will reshape our city as it grows in the decades ahead. The impacts will extend beyond transportation with very exciting implications for innovative hub planning. As we know in this chamber, housing is a major priority for the Allan Labor government. We need to build better transport to our communities to unlock the value of living in the suburbs. And we know to build more homes in activity centres right around Melbourne. I know this firsthand. One of the first 10 activity centres are based in my community of Hawthorn at the Camberwell Junction, and I was pleased to recently chair a meeting of the Community Consultative Committee on how this will shape my community. That means more homes and better transport links. And part of this wider plan is the SRL, because only the Allan Labor government has a plan. Only this side of the chamber has a plan for Victoria. It was this very government that delivered the housing statement last year, and that this government is delivering 800,000 homes across Victoria. And the Allan Labor government is using the opportunity that the new Suburban Rail Loop East precincts offer to deliver even more housing to Victorians. By building 70,000 homes near Suburban Rail Loop precincts, the Allan Labor government is ensuring that all Victorians can live close to where they work, close to where they study, and close to where they call home. Acting President, there is no alternative. We can't build this in 50 years, then the seams will be breaking. And just because you have built it 50 years ago is no reason not to build it now. It is vandalism to our future generations. This motion glosses over the fact that the federal Labor government delivered $2.2 billion to Victoria for the Suburban Rail Loop. Even Albo said it. He couldn't think of a more exciting infrastructure project in the entire country. That's because the Labor governments have big visions. We listen to the people, like how they voted twice in support of a government that will deliver the Suburban Rail Loop. The web of benefits from this project offers Victoria is something that should not be played down. So to end today, think about what cancelling the SRL means. 4,000 workers will be sacked, 24,000 jobs will be cancelled, and thousands of Victorians will find it harder to afford a home that they can reach. And the vote of the Victorian people will be ignored. We won't be doing that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr Berger. Ms Broad.
Thank you very much.